Today we're going to take my retro ramen art to a new dimension. This is one of my retro posters I designed last year. And honestly, I love this guy. He's so happy. He's just a bowl of ramen going on a nice little walk. Every time I look at him on my wall, I'm just absolutely in love. After staring at him the other day, I thought he would look amazing in 3D. So today, I'm going to remake this guy in 3D in Blender. This will definitely be the hardest character I've done to date. If you exclude out that bunny that I did in day 2 of learning Blender in 30 days, that was a pretty hard character. Also, I never finished it, so. Most of my recent characters have been like really round. So like the frog one, like really round, and then the astronaut one as well, like not a lot of detail for him. But the ramen bowl, he has like noodles. I don't really know at the moment how I'm going to like make them. And then there's also like all the other assets like the little Naruto and the eggs, and I also maybe want to put them on a background as well. I don't want them to just be on a plain background. So I think this is going to take me quite a few hours to get done, but I'm very excited to bring this guy to life. So this is what we're working with. He's a retro ramen character. He's full of happiness and love. This character I originally designed for my Etsy, so you can also check him out there if you want to. So looking at him, he doesn't have a lot of color or anything, so I think I'm going to let my imagination go wild. And let's jump straight into Blender. So the first thing I do when I jump into Blender is just delete everything. Every time I do this, I'm just adding in a reference image so that I can actually see the ramen guy as I make him, because otherwise it can be quite tricky to model. Yeah, you always need a reference. So here I'm just going in and modeling the ramen bowl, and I'm just using a circle to do that, and I just extruded those vertices up, in and then down, and then scaled them so that I just got this nice round bowl. Here I'm just adding a few more details to the bowl as well, like a little outer rim, just to give it a little bit more dimension. I also added in a little base to him as well. Here I am trying to go in to make the ramen. The ramen probably took me like 2.5 hours to work out how to actually get it to be noodly but not have to like individually move all the noodles around. So here I'm just trying one tactic with a curve, and I started out with a circle curve, but it just wasn't really working out into the shape that I wanted it to. And then I went in with just a regular curve and then made the noodle shape. I think I remade these noodles at least 5 times, I think. So here I'm just going in and modeling the little eggs. I started out with a round cube and then just duplicated as well for the little yolk in there, and came together very, very quickly. Here I'm just going in and making the little Naruto, very cute, and then I use a cylinder to go in and make the little swirl in the middle. This one was a little tricky, and I think I definitely need to improve this like technique, because I don't think it was the best way I could have done it. But it looks good in the end. I'm quite happy with the outcome. Then I went in to add a cylinder for the chopstick, and then just duplicated them. The chopsticks, as soon as I made them, made the whole bowl feel like a ramen bowl. It felt like it was coming together very well. And I went in and added the little legs, and I decided to add in the shoes that I made last week to this guy instead of remaking them, and then just color them how I wanted them, just because I already had them done. So why not make it easier for myself? So here I am just bringing them in, putting the first little shoe on. It looks so good. I still really love these shoes that we did last week. They're just so good. And then I duplicated the leg as well, and I wanted him to look like he was like walking, so that was kind of the stance I was going for. Then I went in and made his little eyes, and then also made the little reflections in the eyes as well. Popped them on the ramen bowl so they looked like his eyes, and then duplicated those eyes as well. Then I went in to try and do the arms, and I did do these a few times because I'm not used to doing hands yet, so this is the first time I model like fingers properly. And so I went in to try to use a round cube, and this was never the technique that was going to work, but I really, really wanted it to work because I was trying to be lazy, and it looks like a glove and stumpy, and there I am trying to extrude those fingers. It just doesn't work like that. And then I was like trying to sculpt them. I don't know what I was thinking, but I definitely get these hands looking pretty okay. So then I went in to make the little eyes for the egg, because I thought he needed a little face too, you know, he's going on a little trip in his ramen bowl and he needed a face. So I also went in and made the smile. This is just with a cylinder, and I used proportional editing to drag the center vertices down to create that like rounded look of the smile. This is my second attempt at making hands, so I'm using the skin modifier to make like the fingers. This doesn't work work well, and the reason it doesn't is because I'm angry when I'm making this, and I can't do blender when I'm angry because it just, everything starts to frustrate me. So like the hands are looking good, but then like there's like gaps in it and I just couldn't work it out, and so yeah, I was getting really frustrated. But this is the technique we do end up using. Here I am going in to make the little ramen. This is, I don't know, the third or fourth attempt at making it. There I am, just adding a little bit more of a kick to the thickness of it because ramen's thick, right? Well, the ramen I like is thick. What I'm doing is I'm just giving it like a cloth modifier so that when it drops, it like all drops randomly, and I just render one of the keyframes so that like then I get it in the bowl. You can see me stopping like keyframe like 17 because that's when like the ramen's good. Then I went through and duplicated it all around because I wanted quite a bit of ramen. As I'm doing this, I realized that the ramen is quite small. I do fix that later because I wanted the ramen to be a little bit thicker. Then I went in and started to colorize everything, give it all its textures. I gave the chopsticks like a nice wood texture because I just thought that was nice. So I just used a color ramp and a Veroni. What do we call this one? A Veroni one. You know, that's how I do the wood. I went in and added like a soup-like texture into the bowl and just turned down the roughness so it had a little bit of like a shine to it, so it looked more like soup. Then made the bowl blue. I do change a lot of the textures in this by the end, but this was like a good start for me. I was feeling quite hopeful when I was doing this. Went in and did the little eyes and then did the little reflections in the eyes as well. Did the legs and then I did the little shoes. The legs are the soup texture, and I do change that because I realize how ridiculous it looks. Then I did the little egg, placed the little egg in the ramen, and then duplicated him so that he had a little friend. He's so cute. Went in and just added a little bit more plumptuous to the shoes like we did last week. I just wanted them to look really fun and groovy, and then I also changed the color of them. Went in and texturized the Naruto, and then placed the Naruto into the little ramen bowl. And then this was the meat that I had made. I didn't want to talk about it because it looks so bad. I ended up deleting it because that's probably the worst thing I've ever made in my life. Added in a camera and some lighting so that I could actually see what it looked like when I was rendering it, and then just duplicated some more little like eggs and stuff around the scene. So then I went in and started doing the scene because I wanted him to be sitting on like a kitchen bench. I wanted it to have like a brick look feel to it. So I'm just going in and playing with the shading nodes there. And then you can see those little like bricks turn up very quickly using those nodes. I then decided I wanted to add in like a window behind, like a kitchen window. And then I also wanted to do that like cute frog scene we did a few weeks ago of the frogs in the pond, like outside the window, because I want all my little characters to kind of be connected in a way. So there I am just making the window. And then I brought in the frog that's like shocked because I love this guy. I bring him into every video because I think he's crack up. And then I'm just going in and texturizing the window to give it a little bit of a wood look. Here I am adding in that scene, the little frog scene for the window. I go in and delete all the vertices in the plane so that it looks like a window and you can like see through it. So there it is happening there. And then I also wanted to just add in some clouds into the background. So I'm just doing that, and then I'm just lifting up that image as well so like the clouds are a little bit lower. I went in and I wanted to make the little spring onion, so I just used a cylinder for that, and now I'm just texturizing him green, and then I'm just gonna like turn him on his side 90 degrees and then just sprinkle him all around the ramen. And then I'm just duplicating some little assets in the background just to give the background a little bit more of an oomph. And then also I've realized I forgot to do the ramen smile, so I'm just adding in his little smile now. And then I also wanted to try at the hands again, so this is like my third attempt at the hands. I realized once again that they look really bad. So here I am, fourth attempt at making the hands. Is this the last attempt? We'll see. I start out with a cube, I add the skin modifier to it, and then I extrude it up. And then I'm going to extrude out that one vertex and then make the little like structure for the hand. And then I extrude out those extra little vertex, and then look, fingers. That's probably the best that we've had so far. They do get better than that though. And then I'm just like moving the hand so he's doing the peace sign, and then moving this hand so he looks like he's like holding chopsticks. They look kind of terrifying, but they're the best hands I've ever made. So then I went in and just added in those new hands and deleted whatever the heck I had before, because why they look so trash, I don't know. But there's the first little one going in, and then the second little one as well. I'm really happy with how these turned out. I'm quite impressed actually. And then I added in little chopsticks as well. Is he gonna go eat a little bowl of ramen? Probably, you know, that's his story. And then I made the decision to make the ramen thicker because it was so thin. So here I am reshaping the form of the ramen and then adding in some depth to it to make them quite thick. And then as you can see, as I play the scene, the noodle drops into place. So then I'm just duplicating a bunch of little ramens around so that when they fall, they just fall kind of like randomly. And then I also wanted one to go like a little bit off the edge as well. So as it falls, it looks very cute. So let's now do a tour of Blender and I'll show you what we've got before showing you the final render. Alright, so we zoom in here. So we have the little ramen bowl. He's wearing the shoes that we made last week. He's got a cute little smile on his face. He's holding chopsticks. He's got chopsticks in his bowl. He's ready with his chopsticks. We also have the little eggs in the ramen. We also placed a little egg down here, and then we have the Naruto up here, and we also placed the Naruto on the ground as well. Did they fall out of the bowl? We'll never know. Here is what the ramen is looking like. Lovely. I really like that. And then I also put green onion in there as well. If I just look at the kitchen bench, I just made the colors a little bit lighter. It's like a little bit of a brick texture, but I really like how it brings out the rest of the colors. This ramen bowl took me several hours to make, and I'm so impressed with how the hands turned out. Oh, I also changed the color of the hands and the legs because they were originally the soup color and it was just a little bit too much. So I lightened them up a little bit and made them less glossy and more rough, just so they looked less like soup, you know? But here's what he's looking like. I'm very impressed with how he turned out, and I really love those shoes. So happy with that. Okay, so then just to add a little bit extra, this wasn't in the original poster, and honestly the original poster was just like green and white, but I added in this little like kitchen window and then also this window with some wood texture as well, which is just the same wood texture as the chopsticks. I added in the little shocked frog that I like to add into every single video now because he's my favorite character I've made so far, but also now maybe this ramen is my favorite character I've made so far. There's just so many favorite characters, I think. I added in this beautiful plant because I'm trying to get better at plants, so every week I make plants. I do seem to get better. And then I just added in this little scene from creating the 3D iOS wallpapers, just as like the outlook from the window, just because I want all the characters in my world to be connected. So he's looking really good. I'm really happy with how he turned out, and this is what he's looking like rendered. I can't get over how well he turned out. I'm so happy with him. I think when I was originally designing him in 2D, I never thought I would bring him to life in 3D, and now I feel like he's alive. So I'm really impressed with how he turned out. He looks so good, and I love turning my 2D art into 3D. I think it's so much fun. Let me know in the comments if you want me to design anything else in 3D, and thank you so much for watching this. I really appreciate it, and I will now see you in the next video.